To I whalareu ka e vela loma ia. Ko e mea tokoni o ku teu I pe ia he Palestini e niko tui tawake mo ne komiti. Aua ko e loto I whalareu ia. Isa ai maho inga e aho ke tau whiloaki. Mo whiloongoaki e tau whanau tupu hake I murini. Ko ia, mea mai a tokona ki wha Novema wafe watolu ke fika te au tolu noa Church Street, Apsias Katolika Onehanga. Taimi, hongofulu AM ke ta maalaria Happy Whalareu Day Celebration in Aotearoa. Ki hano whakaiki, ka atake o whetutaki ki he Palestini ki a Niko Tuitawake, fika noa wataha, tahataha walua, nima fitutaha. Peko e sekretari, Soane Waterhouse, fika noa wataha, ua hiwa walu, ua fitu tolu.
PMN Tonga.
You're listening to PMN Tonga with John Pulu.
Io whakalofa lahi atu ki mtolu osi hau e ke pia moe ka kai whanua. Tari fie ki mo tolu hau e ke pia moe ka inga ofa hono kotoa. Ko e whainga maari e ko ni te tauto e wakai ai ki he mala e o e politiki, and the National Party has secured an overwhelming 50 seats in the general election last Saturday. Just over 2 million Kiwis voted in this election, with provisional counts putting the National Party in a position to govern the country in a coalition with the ACT Party, possibly. There are still 500,000 special votes yet to be counted. And joining us right now is national candidate Dr. Ruby Manukia Schaumkel, as well as another candidate, Rosemary Bourke, who we all met the last time we had them on Naupolo Kalama. Mahalo e taulama and whakalofa lahi atu to you both.
Malo lelei tawau ke e whiawhini, malo apita.
Whakalofa lahi atu, Rosemary and Dr. Ruby. It's great to have you both. Some good results there. Let's start with you, Dr. Ruby. What's your reflection on the election results so far?
Yes, malo apito, John. Ko tuipe koe ola na e mao he Party National Law o koe reflection nia ki he whe mao e kakai ke aha haliliu. Ai koe ne hiki lewa mi he toko lahe ai whili ne whaafili ki he Labour, ke whili ki he Party National Law. Pea o ku whakawhiwhia whoke ola ko ia he ko lava lewa ai Party National Law o hoko koe pule ango taimini. Kau ke iai pe ngahi ai tatali o hange koe na ke mea ki ai John o pau pe ke counter special votes pe ilo e ola koe he aho tolu Novema.
Oh yeah, Vaveni pe, when we get to know what this looks like for the new government. What are your thoughts or reflections, Rosemary, with the results for Blue in Mangere?
Oh, I'm just thrilled National could get to a point where the people voted and it was shown on the night. So for Mangere, it even showed with the non-votes, which was another vote.
And let's talk about that. I think in comparison to 2020, there was a huge group or number of people that actually didn't vote. What are you hearing, Rosemary, on some of the reasons behind that?
I think people either couldn't see themselves to vote anything what they're used to voting, whether it's red, so they didn't vote, or people were just like apathetic, thinking National's going to win, so I'm not going to vote. So I leave it at that, but increasing the party vote was important.
And tell us about your results from Saturday, Rosemary. Was it what you expected? I know that that's a very hard fought or hard red area, Mangere, where you stood.
Oh, I wasn't disillusioned that it would turn blue just like that, because it takes time. It's relationships, it's people, and people, like I said, either didn't vote or just thought National would take it, or they would choose those other parties, minor parties, which were shown on the night as well.
Cool, yeah.
So, but happy that the party vote was increased.
What about yourself, Dr. Schaumkel, in terms of your results? I know you were also in a very hard battle in where you were standing. Tell us about your results. How did you go?
Io, ai koe whili whaki I Kelstoni, ko pehe pene o hange o close the margin. Probably the closest ever a national candidate has closed that margin I Kelston. He koe o whili koe na I laka ma pe ai kantitati Labour ia, a Carmel Sepuloni. Aki ova ia I he whili e tahamano tupu. Lahi. Ka koe ni koe whili kantitati, maha koe mawhai kehe, ko tolu afe ni mangeao ki he taimini. Pea moi party vote na e close apito, ofi apito margin, maha koe difference pe koe wa afe tupu. So I feel like in Kelson I gave people an alternative to be able to vote for, especially those that want to change. Aki nau tolko ne nau whe mau hali liu. Because ilo pe mahala na spliti moi fili koe party Labour ma e Greens, because they were the third ones in the Kelston electorate. The Green Party took about 2,000 plus almost 3,000 votes. So that kind of took away some of the votes from Labour, but it's indicative of whea mai kakai ke aha li liu e nau tae whea mā lie hangahi, policies of current government, and that was the reflection he whili in Kelston he tokonaki.
Ko ia. O ku toi whoke ngahi special votes, and one of the big surprise was Angie Nicholas I he wahenga wesite for te atatu. So koe tari pe whewhine ke mau e ola pe ko ia tene mau a shea ko ia I he wahenga wesite pe koe wahenga hihi fo I aukalani. But looking at the makeup of the government going forward, Dr. Ruby Schaumkel, ko mea whoke we would love to see you, and please speak to your leader to bump you both up the list. Ke molawa hugi whaleale. We want your voices. We want you guys to be represented. He koe atunga whokia ai whiri whaleale. We always want more Pacific voices. We saw that with Labour in the past, but what is the likelihood of having a Pacifica representative? And I'm saying this with hope, Dr. Ruby Naiaha whaonga ke molawa huai ki whalealea, but what are your thoughts around that on Pacific Voice?
Ia, hangepe ko ke lau ko tia tatu o ki ai Cook Island candidate I ai, pe me ofi ai ko whai ke he ko whai whili e tolu noa.
Wow,
Ka tau ilo whoke history o special votes, it tends to lean to the left. Ka te tau tali pe o sia pe ko hae ola ko ia. Pe moi tau candidate taha ko Agnes Loheni o ku mahalo ko ia ngali e hō he list e hoko mai o ka pau e ai ha o electorates pe ko ha o sea ia e flip, turn around. O hange ko lau koe ke West I te. If you think of the West, it almost turned all blue. We had Te Atatu, Upper Harbour, New Lynn, Mount Roskill, and the only one left was Kelston, and I think Kelston was the toughest one because we had the Deputy Prime Minister there, and that is a very tough red seat, and also with South Auckland. But I think ko mea peke hoko, ko nofo I he loto pāti, ngā mā lohi I he loto pāti, and you have to always be, visible, be working hard, be present. Ko ia na iaha whainga mālia I he whili hoko. So it's a long-term game, and you can't give up that easily.
Good on you, Dr. Schaumkel. And what about yourself, Rosemary? You've had your first chance at going up, especially as we mentioned in Mangere, which has historically been a Labour area, but you've had your first go at it. What are your thoughts around continuing? Is this just the beginning? Will you remain with National?
Oh, I'll remain National. I'll remain blue at heart, but because we did so well, look, we flipped seats. We basically turned New Zealand blue, most of it. And unfortunately, as on the list, we just get pushed down. And that's just part of democracy. We're all equal. But, our voice is still important, whether we're in government, whether with Angie and Agnes, or us in working with the National Party in our communities. It's a long game, but you've got to stay in it. You can't in and out when you feel like it. The people want to see growth, and they want to see commitment. So that's important.
Well, whakamalo lahi atu, whakau lahi. Thank you very much to you both for joining us on our Polo Kalama and for making yourselves available to take part in the election, because I know this is a tough, gig to take part in. It's not just yourselves, but also your family and community that are part of the journey. So well done to you both on another election. And like I said, hopefully there's a chance for you both to climb up the ladder and have more of our Pasifika people in there. But mahalo pito for making time for us. Ofalahi atu Dr. Ruby Manukia Schaumkel, as well as Rosemary Bourke. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Malo
O whātu, John.